Hello, it's Debbie Gilbert from the Business Awards show, and I'm also the founder of the Best Businesswomen Awards. Today, I am joined by Enfys Maloney from Sales Training with Enfys, who won a silver award in the Best Businesswomen Awards this year. She's also got a really interesting story about pivoting her business during a lockdown. Enfys is actually a travel consultant and has been a travel consultant for many, many years. And obviously during the pandemic, everything came to a grinding halt. So she took her 15 years of sales experience and turned it into a brand new business. So welcome, Enfys.
Thank you. Lovely introduction. Lovely to be here, Debbie.
So our listeners love to know the background and like to understand how you've become an award-winning business. So tell us a bit about what happened during the pandemic and how you've pivoted yourself into the business that you have today.
Yeah, well, it's been a bit of a journey. I'm not going to lie. The last 2 years have been, or 3 have been, a real roller coaster. So yeah, you touched on the fact that I have a travel business which was really devastated by the pandemic. It was in tatters, and I lost all my income immediately, basically, and everything in our financial space was sort of a bit difficult because I'd lost my income. We relied on my income. What was I going to do? We had 2 little girls, so I didn't want to go and get a job with fixed hours. And I loved running my own business. And I was devastated that it had sort of been pulled from beneath my feet. But I didn't spend any time really focusing on what I couldn't do. I went all in on focusing, what could I do in this really challenging moment? And you get creative. You get really creative and you get really decisive quickly when it counts. And so my husband was like, yeah, you're either going to need to get a job or you need to get a plan. So I created Sales Training with Enfys, having networked a fair amount for my travel business. I'd seen how hesitant women in business really were when it came to selling. They felt so apologetic and shameful, or they didn't really push or sell comfortably. And having worked in sales for so long and it being a real passion of mine to sell well, I thought there's an opportunity here to bring a different vibe, a totally different perspective on how you can bring a real joy to business development rather than sort of hiding from it. How could I make it really accessible, and how can I make it really interesting and wonderful for business owners to learn? And so I did.
And so how do you deliver this? Explain to us how your sales training is delivered.
Okay, so by now, so the business is it's coming up to 2 years. Last year, it was a bit of trial and error, seeing what worked. I ran a couple of courses, or a few courses, after which I always felt like I was sort of waving goodbye to my clients and saying, good luck, see you later. And there was no continued support. And I think that actually information by itself isn't enough. You need to take action. You massively need to implement what you learn. And to do that, you need community. You need a supportive guiding hand that is not just a short course, basically. So I've got these 2 programs now, in addition to my events that I run every quarter. But my 2 programs are Amplify and the Elevate Circle. And they're basically group programs with some one-to-one work as well. It's a layered learning style over 3 to 6 months. Like, there's no selling silver bullet. I think people are looking for this magic wand, this magic solution, whereas actually it takes time to learn, practice, do, get results, repeat.
I love
to do that.
The layered learning. I thought that's a really good phrase.
Yeah, well, it is, isn't it? Like, business development, it comes at us from so many angles. There's so many pieces of the jigsaw to put together, and the jigsaw is ever expanding. So there's a lot to learn, and there's a lot of pressure to make sales in a business. It's vital. Like, it's not a luxury to be able to make sales. If you want a really profitable, healthy business, then you've got to get on board with the fact that you're a salesperson.
And what kind of businesses join your program?
So far, although they are not exclusively for women, I only have female clients, which is just which is pretty interesting. So I don't mind where people are in their business. What really excites me is where they want to be. So I find this gap, like, where are they now? Where do the businesses want to be? Is there a drive? Is there a commitment? Is there some curiosity within that individual to really find out what they can do and what they can achieve? So typically my clients are service-based women in business that are vibrant and fabulous and unapologetic in like their ambition. They want to stretch themselves beyond the ordinary to see what, just to see, just to see what they can do. So they're a good bunch. I really enjoy them, to be honest. It's I work with dream clients, and it's really fulfilling.
So is it any particular industry, or is it a real breadth of different
industries? It's such an eclectic mix, which I think brings a real strength to my mastermind particularly. So the Elevate Circle, the 6-month mastermind, we've got all types of different service-based business owners, which mean that the kaleidoscope of experience and connections, even within the community, goes far beyond what I can solely provide. There's so much, they support each other, they connect each other, they refer each other. So as a program, the return and reward and investment that people or clients get is not that they're just making better sales. They're making better connections. They're holding bigger conversations. They are being inspired by people outside of their industries, which I think, if you think about it, we are surrounded in echo chambers all the time. So actually to hear about the challenges from different sectors, it does nothing but sort of contribute to the quality of those conversations and that learning. And actually, do you know what? Selling is a human experience. So whether or not you're a graphic designer, an events planner, a wedding planner, a website creator, whatever, the human experience of how you turn somebody who doesn't even know you exist into, build that awareness, build that desire, and then create a pathway and have a conversational skill set that enables you to convert conversations. It's a human thing. It's not an industry thing.
I agree. Maybe share us an example. You don't have to mention any names, but maybe share us an example of somebody you've worked with and what you've seen, their progression has been with their sales.
There's so many case studies that I could bring up, which has been a joy. It's been such a privilege to have worked with, I'd say hundreds of women now, even in such a short time. But somebody sent me a testimonial yesterday on LinkedIn, and I'm going to have to paraphrase it, but it was something like, actually, you've asked for the results that they've got, not what they've said. So this branding consultant came to me because she felt really hesitant about selling. She wasn't getting the results, and she told me herself that she was getting in her own way. She didn't want to be visible. She didn't know what she wanted. She just didn't feel comfortable to represent her business, and it was really stifling her pipeline. We worked together for 8 weeks, and within that 8 weeks, she had £10,000 worth of leads. She then had the conversational skills to close, I think, all of those into sales. She got those inquiries not just from herself, but also from within my connections. Like I cross-refer and help people to build their connections as well. So that's just one case study of so many. If you watch me online, you'll see this constant sort of flow of wins that come my way, which is a real joy. And it's actually where a lot of my satisfaction comes from as a sales mentor, is to see that my clients are building better businesses, more healthy businesses, and really starting to enjoy it. That's the real thing. How you feel about business development is everything.
So you really are empowering people and giving them confidence, aren't you, as well as the skills? So it's
absolutely. Because confidence comes from knowing what you're doing. You can't just go out and ask. You can't be like, oh, I want confidence, please. No, confidence is the byproduct, in the same way as sales are, to be fair. If you do all the pieces of the jigsaw, the sales and the confidence will follow. And then as the sales grow, the confidence builds. As the practice becomes perfected, the whole mechanism of running the business becomes smoother, slicker, and it just grows into quite incredible different things that people don't even expect, which is lovely to see.
Well, your enthusiasm is infectious. So we're going to talk about awards now. So you entered the Best New Business category in the Best Businesswomen Awards this year. So talk me through what the thought process was behind that, what inspired you to enter awards, and, we'll talk a bit about why you think awards are actually quite important for a business.
Absolutely. So I came across the Best Businesswomen Awards when I was networking for my travel business, but I never thought it would be relevant to me. It was just like, oh, that's interesting, and thought nothing of it. And then as I built this business, really early on, I came to your launch party or awards launch do. It was quite a simple, presentation where you were telling us as the collective, this is for you. And I was like, is it? Is it? That's interesting. There's an idea. But I was way too early because I was 2 months into my business. I started it in January last year. I think you held it in March or April, and it was much too soon. But what it did make me do is think forwards to think back. So I went forward like, what am I going to have needed to achieve in order to be a really good candidate for this next year? So I thought, this is for me, but it isn't for me yet to begin with. And then I worked on thinking what you would need. So building that social proof, building that reputation, absolutely going all in, 100%. That was basically what I did. I just thought, do you know what? All in. I'm going to see what I can do. And then I'm going to have stuff to put into my entry. And the reason behind it is because I feel like I wanted to be a part of that world. Like it seemed so inspirational. And the ladies that you had, some previous winners come onto that talk, and what they had started and then what they had gone on to achieve purely because of their recognition as being an award-winning business. It's like a key. It just seemed like a key to the next level of what you want your business to become. And I thought, I'm not going to enter a random array of awards. I wanted to enter a really prestigious, well-known, also on brand. Like this is to be a Best Businesswoman Award winner. I feel like that's a benchmark of real caliber, and I wanted to be a part of it. And to have won silver, I'm thrilled. I'm absolutely delighted. And your night at the event was something else. It was just absolutely wonderful how you brought so many women, so many industries, so many people together to absolutely celebrate the ambition and drive behind each person. So yeah, it's been a bit of a cornerstone to my strategy of thinking, what do I need to do in order to become an award-winning business? And then planned for it, so I had stuff to put in the entry. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, absolutely. And would you recommend entering awards for new businesses? And in that way, maybe people who are listening to this might be just a few months into their business. So do you think that really helped align your strategy with your business as well as the award entry almost?
Absolutely. I think, yeah, because I think yet is a really powerful word. I'm saying to yourself, oh, that'll never happen to me. That's not useful to your business. Saying, I might be able to get ready for this if I work for it, or I'm not ready yet, but I could be ready if I get my act together. What do I need? What is the difference between not being ready and being ready? Let's do all of that stuff so I can get rid of that yet, and get yourself into a position where you don't just enter, but you win, right? Because if you go in and then you enter, it must be such a huge disappointment. So actually planning for it building a strategy and a sales strategy, a visibility strategy, a business building strategy, like based on the results that you can bring your clients, then aiming all of that towards an award entry and an award win, it makes perfect sense. It's just, it can really galvanize you and, can keep you accountable to a certain extent. We all need accountability in our business, and, award entry deadlines are a good like anchor point in your year or the quarter. What are you aiming for? Mm-hmm. What do you need to do in order to best place your business? And frankly, making sales is really fundamental to that as well. So, what do you need to create? What do you need to sell? How much profit do you need to bring on in order to put you in the best position to have a strong entry?
Well, you did very well, because the best new business in our awards, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same for all business awards out there, is one of the most popular categories. We get a lot of entries. So to be selected by our panel, your business is on the right track as a new business, and you've already got some external validation on your business. And I think with a new business, it's so important, because it helps cast you out and get you onto that next level. So it's showcasing you, which is great.
Absolutely. The validation, sorry, just to support your comment, the validation was incredible, actually. And I brought my husband along, who has for the last year and a half just seen me busy at my desk. He's not seen anything like a human out of it, but to go into your world and to be able to see it, feel it, experience it, like what I've created, was extremely validating to the business and to myself personally. And the confidence that comes on the back of that is huge.
Yeah, brilliant. So our show is listened to by a wide variety of business owners, and we like to pass on wisdom to others. Now, I think you've had a great story in the pivoting situation, and maybe if someone's listening to this and they're struggling a bit with their business, what piece of advice could you give them?
I'm gonna give you 2 tips.
You can give us 2. That's good.
Give you 2. Absolutely, in your own mind, just commit to your business. The amount of time that is wasted to self-doubt costs the business a lot of energy and potential opportunity. So just dedicate yourself to committing to growing the business. And then the first thing you need to do is build your reputation, build your audience, make sure that people know you exist. Absolutely. You can't do anything if no one knows you exist. So the first thing is absolutely go all in building and experimenting with what your business is all about, and show it off.
Exactly. That would be the best kept secret.
No.
That's what we see. So how can people get in touch with you? What's the best way?
So the best way is probably just to head to my website, which is salestrainingwithenvis.co.uk. There's a number of different ways that people can start interacting with me, from downloads or joining my free group on Facebook, which is the Business Lounge, which is a fabulous free group. Then it will signpost you to find me on LinkedIn or wherever you want to find me. The best place to begin the journey is to come to my website and see what I've got that can help you.
Thank you. So if you're listening to the show and you're struggling with sales, head over to Enfys's website for more information, or her Facebook group, which we will add all the links into the comments and the show notes. I've seen her speak. We were on a speaker panel together last year, or the end of last year, I think, at the beginning of this year. And she has so much valuable tips and information to share. So I really would recommend going and having a look at what Enfys is up to. Thank you for joining me today. And thank you for listening to the Business Awards show. Thank you.
Thanks, Debbie.